guys, and we are live. We are back. I am Aaliyah, your host, of course, of Making Money Moves. I do want to thank my guest last week, Myra, for coming on the show. So we always start with what we did last week. Last week, Myra came and she talks about making, knowing your worth, basically knowing your worth and getting the fee of what you are worth. A lot of people, when you first get in business, you are scared to ask for however much your fee costs for whatever you do because you're new. You don't know if people will pay the price for it or what people will do. But when that is not the case, like, you need to know your worth. You know what you're worth. You know how much work you've put in. You know the degrees you have behind whatever you are doing. So know your worth is what Myra gave us last week. And I talked to you all about being your own bank. So being your own bank by going through your insurance, basically your whole life insurance. There is a cash value policy on your insurance. For some, I don't know if you all know this or not, but you can be your own bank. So instead of you going to the bank to take a loan, or you're going to somewhere else to get a loan, you basically take a loan from yourself. And you take a loan from the bank, from your insurance. You get the cash that you need, and then you pay yourself back plus interest. So what happens is, think about your car note, think about the mortgage you have on your home, think about these credit cards that you've taken cash advances from. Everything has interest that builds, okay? Interest is, even if it's $10, $15 on your $100 that you haven't paid off on your credit cards, or the interest on your vehicle that you've been paying all this time. The difference is with you being your own bank, you've taken the money from yourself, but you are now paying yourself back plus interest. Okay. There is always a downfall when you are doing, when you are doing this with your life insurance, because if you don't pay it back with your life insurance, let's say you have a policy for $100,000, and if you don't, and let's say you take 60 for whatever, which means you only have 40 left. If you haven't been paying the 60 and paying the interest on it, you literally now only have the 40 for whatever your, burial stuff will be, whatever bills that need to be paid, and whatever else happens after you die. So one thing that's really tricky about it is making sure you pay yourself back, making sure you pay yourself with the interest. So you just kind of need to make sure that this is something that you can do if you're going to do it, but you might want to really look into it, just because being your own bank and paying yourself with interest is kind of like ideal. So I'm paying myself back plus interest. So all the money that I've taken, I don't have to go to the bank. I'm not going to these other people, paying them all this money for no reason. I'm giving it back to myself. So that is one thing that you should look into, or that you may want to look into. I've heard about it before, and then recently I sat down and did a roundtable with a couple of multimillionaires, and they were talking about how one of them said, outside of real estate, this is what he does with himself. Like, this is how he avoids going to certain places to have to take loans or whatever else he does. He basically is his own bank off of his insurance. So, and, you listen to people that are smarter than you and that have more money than you, depending on how you got it. As long as it wasn't illegal, I'm gonna listen. So that's what I did. Okay, so we did that. And then, so being your own bank is something that you would like to look into. I know we've talked about a lot of different things over time. I'll do a recap maybe at the end of some of the things. I know with stocks, I told you that I was looking into, or that I have invested in, with AI and with marijuana, which happens to be actually kind of working out great. So I'll let you guys know about that. But okay, enough about that, guys. Sorry about, just like to ramble sometimes. But okay, so today we have a special guest. She goes by Christina Danielle Cornelius. Okay, give you her whole name. She is a entrepreneur, a volunteer, and a philanthropist. I don't know why I can't get the word out all the time. She is the founder of a nonprofit called Women Exceeding. I actually met her through Junior League. So we are also in Junior League together, but I will let her I'll introduce her so she can talk about some of the things that she has going on with Women Exceeding, which is kind of interesting. She's the founder of this nonprofit, and she's a financial well-being coach. And I've been giving y'all these financial people all the time so they can give us these insights to help us make some more money. So without further, Christina, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so give us a little bit about who you are. Tell us a little bit about you before we get into the nonprofit.
So, where do you want me to start?
You went to school.
Okay, so
it's University of Illinois.
Yes, I'm from Chicago. I've been in Houston for about 6 years.
Okay.
Graduated from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign.
Okay.
There's 3, but ours is the University of Illinois. Then I came to Houston and I worked for JP Morgan Chase in the retail bank at that time for 9 months.
Okay.
Then I got into a program at Stanford's Graduate School of Business. So I hadn't been with Chase for a year. I had to resign and then come back. So I resigned for the summer, went to do my program at the Graduate School of Business. Okay. I had to reapply, redo the background checks and the drug tests and everything. But my manager believed in me, so he held my position, and I was able to come back to the same position, same role, but I wanted to do more. I ended up moving to the commercial bank for a while. Then my dad fell ill, and so then I worked for my uncle, who had just started a small private equity firm. So it was a startup, and it was there that I met my mentor. Mm-hmm. He was my direct manager, and I was there for about a year and a half. When I was with Chase, I always knew I wanted to do corporate social responsibility, but getting the startup experience with my uncle and my mentor really mold me into who I am today.
Okay.
I had the ambition, but I didn't have the opportunity or the talent or the skill set yet. I knew where I wanted to go, but I was not prepared to go there yet.
Okay.
And then I left them and I went to a nonprofit to try to make my experience more rounded, so I could get that nonprofit experience. I have the startup experience now with the private equity firm where I'm working on projects, and I have the financial services experience from the retail and commercial bank with JP Morgan. So I was able to bring all that together, and that's where I am now.
All right. I never, even with all these things, I've never you seem like you had a very clear vision of what you wanted to do and how you wanted to get there. I don't think I've ever had that. I think stuff kind of just came. You had a vision, you started here and then you went to here and then you came here and then you came out. Yours kind of brought around full a circle. I've never really had that. I've kind of been like, oh, let's kind of see what works and what doesn't, and then that's kind of how a lot of stuff came about.
So it wasn't really like a vision. It was not a plan.
Oh, okay.
My plan was to be have a 30-year career with JP Morgan Chase, and go to their corporate social responsibility. So I'm a religious person. Okay. God knows what he's doing. So at the time, I was going through hell. I was stressed out. I was oh my God, what am I going to do? Nothing made sense. Mm-hmm. But as I tried to, let go of control and let God lead me, everything came full circle. So in retrospect, everything's 2020. Oh, this makes sense. But when I was going through it, it did not make sense. I'm what is happening?
She had to trust the process, but she didn't even know she was going through the process.
Right.
Okay. So you are a financial well-being coach.
Right.
So tell us what a financial well-being coach is.
Don't you just hate that job title?
What is that? What does it do? I know what it sounds like, but what does a financial well-being coach do?
Okay, so my day-to-day is different. My company that I work for is called Operation Hope. And here in Houston, we do credit and money management and small business development. So that means that I do workshops. So I have a credit and money management workshop. I have a small business development workshop. Mm-hmm. After the workshop, we're able to do one-on-one consultations. So we're pulling credit reports. We are establishing a plan to reduce debt, increase savings, and increase credit scores, and reach whatever financial goals our clients have. Okay. We sit with them on the one-on-one basis. We try to touch point at least every 30 days. Sometimes it's more frequent. Sometimes it's not. that. And we just really try to give them the tools and help them to work the plan to improve their credit. So we're not a credit repair company. We're a credit counseling company. So we help them through the process.
Okay. And so I've talked to you guys about credit and how important this credit is. And I haven't necessarily talked about what you can do to get your credit. I mean, to improve your credit. Obviously, you got to come pay me for that. But we have talked about credit. And I've told them that credit is worth more than money. And I told them, you know, when I was going to buy my first car, I wanted a Cadillac Escalade. This is the truck I've always wanted forever for some reason. And when I went to get it, I could not get it because I didn't have the credit. I had the money, but I didn't have the credit, and then I had to get a cosigner. Well, my family believes if you need a cosigner, you don't need to have it because we're not going to put our name on something that you can't buy for yourself.
Yeah.
Which I understand that later on. I didn't understand it then because I was like, I have the money. It's not a big deal. But I get it now, like why people don't put their name on stuff, because people are not, people do not tend to want to pay stuff back, or stuff gets left on you and now it's on your credit and messes up. But I definitely understand that. So, but I've talked to them about credit. So you work in this industry where this is what you do day to day.
Yeah.
So tell them what have you seen that you have been like, what like are you doing? Like you will not, like their goal was to buy a house and you kind of looking like, oh man, this is very bleak about how we got to get this house for you because your credit score is 325.
I think that the correct question is, what have I not seen? Okay, like, I have seen it all. I have seen like credit reports that they had no credit, so it's not enough information to generate a credit score. Period. I have seen collections galore, like pages and pages of collections. I'll give a couple tips. The first thing, and all of our services, the Operation Hope, is free because I work for a nonprofit, so we are sponsored by different banks and
Did y'all hear that? Let me tell y'all this one more time. In state or out of state, they can call you on the phone.
Yes.
Let me tell y'all something, okay? I'ma charge you. I'ma charge you, okay? If you come to Calvary's Tax Service, I will charge you to do your credit. If you go to Operation Hope, this is what she does. It's free because it's a nonprofit, okay? If you all need that, let me know, but it's free because it's a nonprofit. Go ahead.
Okay, so if you're trying to build your credit, our methodology here in Houston is to clean first. So we clean up your credit, then we build your credit. So clean means negotiating with the different with the different debtors that you have. We talk to different credit card companies. We really try to work with them to figure out a repayment plan to see if we can get some of the things taken off. So we clean your credit together. I'm not cleaning anybody's credit. We do it together. Then we build. So I have a lot of clients who say, oh, well, can I just get a secured credit card? No, you're not just going to get a secured credit card, because if I am an underwriter and you want to buy a car, I don't care if you have a 640, if you have a ton of collections. I don't trust you.
Right. Makes sense.
So you have to really clean up your report. And we want to get your score as high as we can by cleaning. That way, when you go for the credit card, whether it's secured or unsecured, you get a lower interest rate, a higher limit. It puts you in a better position to apply at that time. The quickest way to improve your credit is on-time payments. It is 30% of your credit score. On-time payments. And I'm saying credit. It doesn't sound like I'm saying credit, but it's credit, not credit. Credit score. And then the other thing is, so payment history is really, really important. And you want to have diverse credit. So that's revolving and installments. So that installments like your student loans, your house, your car, revolving lines of credit, credit cards, and charge accounts. So like store credit cards.
Yeah. One of my viewers just said she's not coming to me because yours is free, which is fine. I just want you to, we'll talk about that later. But it's okay. You know, I just want you to be able to clean it up, regardless if you come to me and we do it and you pay me to do it because I'm here, or if you go to Christina and she's at, you know, the Operation Hope and they do it. The point or the purpose is for you to be able to clean it up and get it done. So where you go doesn't make a difference. But knowing that this is what you need to do to help you to be able to get financially free is really what it comes down to. At the end of the day, I do like a coin, but if you paying me is going to hurt you by paying something else that you need to pay off, and you can go somewhere else to get the same help and get it done for free, I'm all for you going to what makes sense. Okay, that's kind of where I am right now. Don't come to me and hinder and then hurt, and I'm having to do this and keep doing it because you can't afford it, versus going to somewhere that you can afford to get this same service. So that I'm not tripping off of. It is okay.
And if you don't have the time to do it, Operation Hope is not for you. You have to be committed. You have to have the time to do it. You have to be
commitment, guys. You have to commit, guys. Okay, so I know that we've been, you know, financial. We always give you some financial with these money moves. You see how we just gave you these money moves without telling you that? Okay, so she also owns Women Exceeding, which is a nonprofit. I read, you know, I go through everyone's pages and their websites, and I went through her page, and I know one of the things that she says is that she wants to help change the world, rebuilding one entrepreneur at a time. Okay, so tell us about Women Exceeding.
So Women Exceeding was something that I thought about when I was a sophomore in college.
Okay.
And it's been like burning on my heart for like years. And I was helping friends start their businesses. And so I kind of put my dreams on the back burner for a while. But at the time, I had 3 friends who were like just killing the game. Like we're like 19 and they're like, oh, I have a production company and I have this and I have that. I'm like, girl, you the bomb. Like, I'm inspired.
Right.
I'm inspired by other people's success, especially other women's success. And so I like had a blog that nobody followed, and I wrote a blog piece on them. And that was, I guess, the seed planted to grow Women Exceeding. As the years went on, the list grew longer. So at that time, I had a friend who was doing one young lady was doing management for music. The other young lady was doing management for modeling. And the other young lady was a recording artist.
Okay.
From that list, I had a friend who started a nail polish line. I had a friend who started baking in her home as an outlet for bullying and made $100,000. She was like 17. Like, I had all these.
I might need to go, you know, follow my mama footsteps and go start baking in the house.
Baking.
Sheesh.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing. Like, in fact, her name is Jordan. She was the first person we featured on Women Exceeding.
Okay.
And my best friend and I would have like a saying when we got tired and we didn't feel like doing anything. We're like, what would Jordan do? Like, get up and get it done, girl. Get up and get it done.
That is so funny. You know, one of my friends told me that. She said that because during, you know, obviously for 5 months out the year, I work 7 days a week. And she told me when she's tired and she doesn't feel like getting up, she was like, she think about Aaliyah gets up every day, like she works 7 days a week. Let me get up and go do some work.
That will push you. Really? That will push.
She was
people
like, yeah.
are watching. People are watching.
I never even, you know, I just kind of feel like certain time periods you have to grind it out.
Yeah.
Like right now, I just feel like as much as I just want to go get a regular 9 to 5 and get some good old insurance that I don't got to pay out of pocket. So as bad as I would like to go do that, I just right now have to trust this process that is so hard.
You have to trust the process.
I'm sorry, but anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So the list grew, and by I guess 2013, I had gone crazy. Like, I have this list. It's probably about 15 women. I said, You know what? I'm just going to start a website. And every month I'm going to feature a different woman because this is getting on my nerves. But I'm really big on branding and doing things the right way. I hate when people are like, oh, I'm CEO of this. And it's like, are you a CEO? Do you know what that means? So
man, I'm high paid administrative CEO. That's what I feel like. Right now. Okay.
Right. So I hired a PR firm out of Miami. So it was really important to me for the founding team to be all female. And even right now, the team is still all female.
Okay.
But I was looking for a female graphic designer.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that there was a difference between a graphic designer and a web designer. Like, a graphic designer might not know how to do web development. I didn't know that. Like, so I had all these baby mistakes from being, like, I guess, ignorant about that industry and how things work along the process. So I actually reached out to one of the girls that I wanted to feature. No one knew what Women Exceeding was. I was like really secretive about it. Like I had all these plans going, and I really didn't want to reach out to her because I wanted it to be like a surprise. But I reached out to her and asked her who did her website. Her cousin did her website, and she was a woman, and she was in Miami. So I hired her to do ICPR, and she built out the original model for Women Exceeding. As I was talking to her, she's like, well, Christina, I think you can do more with this. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I was working in the branch at Chase at the time. There was a library right next to me. So I would go to the library on my lunch break and get books to research different business structures. I had a picture of a pile of books this high on my desk. I have a picture. I wish I would have sent it to you. Really, really high of all these different books on business structures and business models and how to file. And I did the process myself. And I decided to go with the incorporated nonprofit, and I filed the 501c3 paperwork. We got approved. I sat on the paperwork for months because I was just so afraid to submit it. Not because I made any changes. I was just afraid to submit it. I submitted it. We got approved first round through, and we were officially organization in the state of Texas March 12th, 2014. I know that date not only because of Women Exceeding, but it was also my dad's birthday, which turned out to be special later. But yeah,
March 12th is funny. That's actually my dad's birthday too.
Really?
Yep,
Really?
Shout out to dads.
Right.
But yes, okay. So Women Exceeding is a resource for women looking for personal and professional development.
Yes.
As well as networking.
Yes.
So do you do like events throughout the year? Like, so tell us how the networking and professional of the services, like how do you get people to connect to these other people for these services? Like I need some capital so I can open up maybe another office across the world. Okay. So how do I come to you and say, hey, I saw your nonprofit. This is what it says you guys do. So how do I get in?
Okay. So we have a couple resources. First of all, we are rebuilding. Okay. We went through a little hiatus period when my father was ill, and so we're rebuilding. We have a new logo. We have a new website coming, so I'm really excited about that. And we're having our first event.
Okay. So
our first event will be October 18th. It's going to be here in Houston, and it's going to be a woman in media panel. And it's going to be networking and talking about how media can help grow your business.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about that. That's the save the date. We'll have more details probably within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
So just follow our social media pages and it will be there.
And then I'll post it on the pages once you send me the information, and once she gets it for October 18th, I'll definitely post it. I went to a social media class. And one of the things that I've learned, like, social media, you just think like, I guess, I was thinking, you just get on there and post and you'll get all millions of likes and all these things. But there's so much strategy behind Instagram and Facebook when you are posting anything. Like Instagram has like a strategic plan or like algorithm on how they rate stuff. Like you need to be in your news feed every day. Like every 24 hours you need to be on Instagram, on your Instagram stories. And then like every so often throughout the day, so many times a day, you need to post. And then then that's how it shows your stuff to more people. You're in this thing and all these, and I was just kind of like, oh my gosh. Like, and then like to retarget these people when it comes to Facebook, like people that are actually on this or that, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a lot. So, but anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. So yeah, we have that event coming up. We have a directory. It's called the Women Exceeding Directory. It used to be called the Little Pink Book, but there's another women's organization called the Little Pink Book, so I had to get rid of that quick because I didn't want to be sued. So the Women Exceeding Directory, and the premise of the directory is that it's all female-owned businesses. In order to be featured in the directory, you have to be willing to assist a woman who wants to get into your industry, whether that is a conversation, an email exchange, a mentorship, like relationship, or like even, hey, can you help me connect me to someone else? But you have to be willing to be a resource to someone else, because I believe, it's a fact that women get a bad rep for tearing each other down. So
we do.
Yeah.
We do get a really bad rep for that.
And some of us are that way, but I think that's people in general. But a lot of us want to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
Latasha Norwood, who's local here in Houston, started an organization here. And it's a women organization. We kind of align a little bit, but we're looking for ways to partner because it's all about helping women thrive. Mm-hmm. Myra was your guest last week. Mm-hmm. You said Myra said to make money, like make your business get paid for your value.
Yes,
Myra taught me that. Myra
really?
taught me that. Yes,
she is serious about that. Which which is funny because when I initially even started doing taxes, even though I had the education behind me and I had all these things, and I was working for somebody else for the first 2 years. And then when I branched out on my own, it was kind of like you're more or less kind of like a mom and pop because you're not like a big, like brand or whatever. So it's kind of like, do I charge what the competitors are charging and I know it's worth, or do I kind of like go down because of this? Or even with the wedding stuff, like people come to you and you're kind of like, oh, this is high. I have a friend that is a photographer in Kalamazoo. Shout out Kalamazoo, Michigan right now. Okay, put y'all on the map. I'm just kidding, guys. Don't get offended. And he is a photographer. He is really good. I've recommended him to a couple different people for weddings. I don't think they've picked him because of pricing. Mm-hmm. And one thing he stands by is knowing how much I'm worth. My time. His time to him is everything. So he's like, the time it takes me to take these pictures, get everybody together, come home to edit or to do whatever, is worth so much money. So if you're not willing to pay me to do this, then you don't need me. Then you need to find somebody else because my time is really worth, this is what my time is worth and this is what I'm going to charge. So people, and one of his friends, he told me, came to him and said, such and such is also doing photography. Like, are you going to change your price? Like, now you got competition. And he was like, no. Mm-hmm. Like, now you'll be able to see the worth between value. Me and these other people. Yeah. Now that these other people are now in here. So now you see why I charge what I charge versus my pictures versus theirs. Yeah. And I used to just sit back and be like, and you do have to know your market. And I used to be like, baby, I don't blame you. Okay?
No.
Because if you're not willing, my biggest thing is you're willing to pay these other people for the same service, but you come to me or you come to you and think, well,
I need a discount.
And that just blows me.
Yeah, I've had so much growth within the last year with not wanting discounts. Like, I used to be that person like, oh, so can I get a deal? Not anymore. I've learned so much. Even so, I'm from Chicago. My hairstylist has been doing my hair since I was 11. I have a hairstylist here. She's expensive compared to what I'm used to paying, but I pay her what she wants. So when I go to Chicago, I pay my hairstylist what she wants because she's been doing my hair for over 10 years. Why wouldn't I give her her price should go up. Her experience has gone up. Mm-hmm. And then when I do consulting work for her, she pays me what I want.
People don't get that. People don't, which is kind of funny. Yeah. I feel like people that are not in business don't understand that.
Right.
Like, you want someone to pay you your fee and what you're worth. Mm-hmm. Then I feel like you need to really think about and to pay theirs and what they're worth. And if you're willing to go to these other larger consulting firms or these larger florists or these larger tax offices or these larger banks and you're willing to pay the price that they tell you, because their price isn't going to change. Like, they are firm at whatever the price is.
It's
then when you come to us, we eat just like they have to.
Yes.
The exact same thing. You need to pay the price. You need to pay the price. Okay, so at the end of, we just been talking today. Okay,
right.
At the end of the show, I give everybody to give me some type of financial or some type of tip to leave for the viewers. So leave me with a financial tip, or leave us with a tip from Women Exceeding, something that a jewel to drop for everybody.
Okay, since I did my financial tip in the beginning of the show,
yes, you can give us a
Women Exceeding. Network and follow up. Keep people in your network. People come to me because I know people who can never help me with anything, but they can help someone else, and I'm really good at building relationships. So build relationships, nurture those relationships, make them genuine, and they may not help you, but you're able to pay it forward. And when you pay it forward, it comes back to you.
Yes, that was so good. Oh, following up, Lord. I need to get my life together. I got some people to follow up with today. Now that she said that, okay. So I've been giving you guys. I've given you guys credit. I've given you guys stocks. I'm probably know your worth. Like if you know what you are worth, do not back down on your price. If you know the time that it takes for you to do this, the certifications that it took, and all of the above. When I finish the CPA, when you need this, the time that it has taken me to finish this CPA will reflect in the price that you will pay for whatever service you need that requires the CPA. Okay. So know your worth, know your value, and stick to it. Don't let these people talk you down and make you feel bad about anything about your pricing, because you know what you're worth. You know how much time it is taking you to get everything that you need to get. It's where I will end today. So thank you, Christina Danielle Cornelius, for coming in to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
And make sure you go to make sure you subscribe to YouTube at Making Money Moves podcast. Make sure you get on iTunes to Making Money Moves. I think I'm on iHeart now. SoundCloud, I know. Google, I promise. I am just trying to get this together. I don't know why the link won't work. And then some of these other platforms will be on too. So just make sure you guys subscribe and come and check us out. And if you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave them. Someone says shout out to Chicago, because we got Chicago in the building. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for watching. See you later. Talk to you later. And I'm out.